New since 6 o'clock, we are getting our first idea of how a young teen mom was acting in the moments after her hours-old baby was found on the side of a dirt road near White Cloud.
It's a story that continues to startle and sadden all of us. Tonight, we're hearing from a woman who held that baby and then talked to the baby's very young mother.
24-Hour News 8's Heather Walker is live tonight outside of a Fremont hospital where that baby and we believe mom are still being cared for. And Heather, you also just talked with police. Where are they going from here?
Yeah, Brian, I've been keeping in contact with detectives tonight. They tell me that they have been told who the father of the child is. Now they're working to verify that. I also asked about possible charges in this case. They tell me it is too early. Now that neighbor who spoke to the young mom just moments after the baby was found, she tells me that the teen pretended like she knew nothing about the baby.
When the young lady come out and asked us what was going on and everything, and I told her, and she just made it seem like she didn't know what was going on, but yet she was the one who had the baby.
Kathleen Neal says the whole thing is sad and strange. Around 10:30 this morning, Neal's dad took her dog for a walk on Marion Road when the dog started pulling him to the side. The dog found something. Neal's dad thought it was a rock or an animal,
but it wasn't. And I'm glad that the baby's going to be okay. And I'm glad that the mother's going to be okay. This whole area right here was where she was laying at.
Neal says the baby was lying on her side in the fetal position. There were leaves on her face. It was cold, and they were worried.
She wasn't crying or moving until I picked her up. And then she started to cry. And then it was a relief to me in a way because she was crying. That meant to me that she was still alive.
The baby was wrapped up and held until police arrived.
It's just really hard to believe. It really is hard to believe that someone would do that.
Investigators later identified the mother, who was taken to the hospital.
I'm sure she was just scared to death and not knowing what to do. But there's other alternatives. Their family needs a lot of prayer. I know she's a young girl, but she's not stupid. So it really makes me wonder why.
The condition of the baby tonight is unknown. Brian and Marley.
And Heather, did that neighbor notice anything else odd or out of place with that young teen mom?
I asked her about that, and she told me that she did notice something a little strange. She said last night she noticed that the teen's older sister actually stayed the night there. She does not live there and rarely visits, so that's the only thing that she noticed that was unusual.
So many more questions we have. A sad story all around. Heather, thank you for that live report.
We do feel it's important for us to point out that in this situation, Michigan does have what's called a safe delivery law. You can leave your newborn up to 3 days old with any hospital, fire station, police, or emergency staff member that's on duty. You can do this with no questions asked and no threat of criminal charges. Today, we spoke with one of the women who helped craft our law about today's case.
It's frustrating to some extent, but it isn't about my frustration as much as it's about the community helping young people to know and understand what options they have. To be so frightened or desperate to make this kind of decision is very traumatic.
We are working to find out what police's next steps will be in this case. We'll be following this tomorrow. Stay with us.